Imagine 22 feet beneath the bustling streets of New York City, right under the shadow of the World Trade Center, a secret was buried for over 200 years. Not treasure, not some forgotten subway line, but an almost perfectly intact warship from the American Revolution. A ghost from a time when America was fighting for its very life, vanishing without a trace, only to pop up in one of the unlikeliest places you could think of. And this isn't just any old boat, folks. This is a gunboat, built with wood from the very same forests as Independence Hall. A vessel that fought for freedom and then just, poof, disappeared. But the wildest part of its story isn't just that it reappeared. It's the chilling evidence that whispers this American patriot ship might have actually fallen into enemy hands. Picture it. The 1770s. The American colonies are a tinderbox, just waiting to explode against British rule. To defend their crucial waterways, especially the Delaware Bay and Delaware River near the vital city of Philadelphia, American shipwrights got busy. Near Philly, they built a tough 50-foot gunboat using timber from the same forest that gave us Independence Hall. Now, this wasn't some massive ship of the line meant for epic ocean battles. Nope. It was a shallow draft workhorse designed to patrol rivers and coastlines, a key player for a tiny navy up against the biggest maritime power on Earth. It stood as a symbol of American grit and defiance. For a while, it did its job, a small but crucial piece in the war effort. And then, like a ghost, it just vanished from the history books. For centuries, nobody knew what happened to it. The Revolutionary War ended, a new nation started to grow, and New York City began to transform. What used to be the Hudson River shoreline, well, it was gradually filled in to create more land for the booming city. This was pretty common back then, a way to make the city bigger. And somewhere in all this relentless expansion, our forgotten gunboat found its surprising final resting place. By the 1790s, it was probably out of service. Whether they sank it on purpose or just abandoned it and it got covered over, who knows? But it became part of the very foundation of a city that would grow into a global superpower, its wooden hull sleeping silently as history marched on above. It really seemed like it was gone forever. All right, fast forward to July 2010. Construction crews at the World Trade Center site, specifically for the Vehicular Security Center, were digging deep, real deep. 22 feet below street level, their machines hit something unexpected. Not bedrock, not old pipes, but the unmistakable curved wooden planks of a ship's hull. Can you even imagine? Amidst all the concrete and steel of modern construction, here's this relic from the age of sail. Archaeologists were rushed in and the clock was seriously ticking. They had an incredibly tight window, just 2 weeks before construction had to get back on track. In that frantic fortnight, they managed to pull out about 30 feet of the ship, a big chunk of its original 50-foot length. And the ship? Amazingly well preserved. It had been cocooned in the oxygen-poor landfill gunk that protected its wood from rotting for over 200 years. They found over 1,000 artifacts with it. 1,000! This wasn't just some old discovery, this was a direct hotline to America's birth. So, as researchers started the careful job of studying the Ground Zero gunboat, as it got nicknamed, a really intriguing little artifact popped up. A small, pewter button. And this wasn't just any old button. It had the number 52 stamped on it. Historians quickly made a pretty chilling connection. This pointed straight to the British Army's 52nd Regiment of Foot, a unit that saw a lot of action in the Revolutionary War, especially when Philadelphia fell in 1777. The implications? Absolutely stunning. Could it be? This American gunboat, built to fight the British, actually ended its days in their hands? Was it captured, maybe during the chaos of Philadelphia's fall? Its crew overwhelmed? Its flag struck? That tiny, unassuming button whispered a grim story of defeat and capture, a stark reminder of just how brutal war can be. And there was more. Musket balls and canister shot found with it practically screamed warship. Some research even hints the ship might have sailed south, maybe even to the Caribbean, under British control before ending up forgotten in New York. So what do you think really happened to this ship? Was it a prize of war, or is there another explanation for that button? I'd love to hear your theories down in the comments. And if you're into stories like this, where history literally bubbles up from the ground, definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss where we dig next. After its dramatic unearthing, the gunboat's remains were carefully whisked off to Texas A&M University's Center for Maritime Archaeology and Conservation. There, they kicked off a meticulous 14-year mission to preserve and study it. Every single piece of timber was documented, cleaned, and stabilized. Researchers even used dendrochronology, that's tree ring dating, to nail down its 1770s Philadelphia origins. Laser scanning helped them create super detailed 3D models. Now, this incredible survivor has started its next big journey. In 2025, the preserved timbers were moved to the New York State Museum in Albany. And get this, it's currently being reassembled piece by piece right in front of the public. This ghost ship is set to become the star of an exhibit for the 250th anniversary of America's founding, a real, touchable link to the nation's chaotic birth. Visitors can literally watch history being pieced back together. How cool is that? The journey of the Ground Zero gunboat is, well, pretty darn extraordinary. From a revolutionary warship fighting for American independence, to a forgotten relic buried under a future megacity, to a celebrated museum piece. It's a fantastic reminder that history isn't just in books. Sometimes it's literally right under our feet, just waiting for us to listen to its story. The evidence of its possible capture adds such a poignant layer to its saga, a silent nod to the struggles and sacrifices of a nation fighting to be born. This ship, once lost, is now found. And you can bet its incredible voyage and all the questions it still raises will be talked about for generations to come.